Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I will be sharing with you part 2 of starting your reading journal. All right everyone, so here we are. Hopefully you have seen part 1 of this video. If you haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and make sure I put it up in the cards now for you. That way you see that one first. That one is kind of like an introductory video on the materials you will be needing for your reading journal. I go over different types of journals that I recommend. I recommend to you various writing utensils and all the little tips and tricks that I have for the needed supplies to start a reading journal. And this video is going to focus more on what actually goes inside of your reading journal once you have the materials that you think you need. So I will be doing that with you today. I actually have my current reading journal with me here for 2025, and this will be the reading journal that I am moving into for 2026. There's a couple recommendations that I have for you. So if you do not have a current reading journal, which I know maybe a lot of you, if this is your first venture into reading journaling, you might not have this. So you might just be working with your brand new journal, right? So that's okay. That's fine. What I like to do is, since I've been doing these for so many years, I like to look at my reading journal that I currently have when I'm moving into my new one, so I can decide what spreads I'm thinking of using or which spreads I want to get rid of from the year before. And I even, a lot of times, which is why I have it here next to me, go into my reading journal from the year prior. So this is my 2024 reading journal, and I will be looking through this one to see if there's anything from this one that I maybe did away with and didn't include in my 2025 journal that I want to maybe bring back, or things that I want to do differently or whatnot. But if you don't have an idea of what your current one looks like because you don't have one, that's okay. We can go ahead and start deciding what are some spreads that you think you might want on there. What are some of the must have contents or trackers or challenges that you want to keep track of for your new one? And we'll just start from scratch. We all did that, when we first started at one point or another. So if you don't have one, maybe what you can do is make a list of, maybe just take like a piece of paper or an index card and write down the things you're interested in tracking. So I'm interested in doing a listing of the monthly things that I am reading. Or I know that I participate in this particular book club, so I want to spread for that book club. Or I really want to track the diversity within the authors that I am reading. So I'm going to write that down. And I think that would be a good starting place. So if you have an idea of those things that you want to track before you even start watching the video or doing anything, make a list of your stuff. If not, then get your blank list out, your piece of paper, whatever, and then watch me go through my reading journal and see what you like from the spreads that I have. And maybe some of those are spreads that you want to have. And then you can continue looking online for more bookish ideas for reading journal spreads. There's so much material out there, guys, that can inspire you and can kind of let you know where you want to be. So that's a good starting point for you, just having ideas on a piece of paper if you don't actually have a reading journal that you're currently working on that you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and open both of my journals. I am going to go ahead and set this up like this. Now, the materials you'll be needing for today are not a lot, so this is what I recommend that you have: a pen, a pencil, and some good sticky notes. So the ones I'm going to be using are Post-it Super Sticky. I like these to be super sticky because I'm going to be moving around my Post-it notes from this point forward up until the building of my journal. So I do like for them to be extra sticky, but that's not needed. If you just have a regular pack of sticky notes, that's good too. I just really enjoy the super sticky for this particular activity because I do peel off and repeal and peel off and repeal a lot. And that's really all you're going to need for today's video if you're doing this. If you don't have your new reading journal yet, that's okay. Just go back to what I told you about having your list and just write down all of the spreads that you think you might want to have when you're moving into your new notebook. And then once you get your new notebook, you can go ahead and start doing some of these things that I recommend that you kind of begin with. So this year in my notebook, I didn't really decorate my first page, and I want to do that. That's something that I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I kind of label that. So the post-it notes are going to be your labels. That's how you're going to be labeling your new journal, because we can't possibly in one sitting decorate our entire new reading journal, which is why I'm starting this process at the middle ending of October, because this does take a while, guys. It takes a while for you to move into your journal. And the last thing you want is for January 1st to get here, you're ready to start your reading journal and you don't have your spreads done, because then it becomes a little bit, difficult to track what you want to track and flip through. So I like to begin January 1st with my reading journal pretty much set up for the year. And it does take a lot of prep work, which is why I started these videos in the middle of October, because it does take a while. So I'm going to go ahead and just put title page. And this year I want to make it a point to actually create and decorate my title page. So this is all I do. My first initial step is marking where things are going to go. And that's why I like doing it on sticky notes. Many years ago, when I started planning like this, with a pencil, I would write on it, but then I'd have to erase. And it does erase well if you're using the pencils and the erasers that I talked about in my other video. But I found that the sticky note was great, because then I can just move it and put it on another one. I don't have to rewrite everything again. So it saved me a lot of time. So I know that this is going to be my title page, which this year I have not done. And I want to do it. There's just commitment, right, about, decorating this or decorating this. And I usually just skip through to my first sections, and I neglect to do that. So I want to do that for my upcoming year. All right. So then we have the index of all bookish things. So this is going to be my index, and it will be the spread. So I want to continue that. And this is where the assessing kind of goes. Now I decide, do I want to have an index like I did this year? Did I use it? Did it work for me? And for me, the answer is yes. And if you don't have a reading journal, you're starting from scratch. Now you decide, do I think I want an index? And if you think you do, then go ahead and set up a little post-it note for that and plan for it. Eventually, if you change your mind, you can always remove that and make that anything else that you want it to be, right? But at least you are planning for that page to be designated to your index. So I normally just do one spread for my index, and I think that's really all I will need. And again, right now I'm not planning on how I'm going to decorate it, what washi tape I'm laying down, or what ephemera I'm doing, or if I'm drawing, or the themes, or the colors, none of that. This is just me deciding where things kind of should go. So right after my index, this year I had my listing of all the books I've read, right? So I do like having this, and I like having this at the beginning. I designated two spreads. So this is one spread, this is another. So I do like that, and I want to continue that. So right now I am at 79 written here. I'm already at like 84, 85. But I update this monthly, right? So I definitely think I need the two spreads. So I'm going to come over here. I want my pencil here. And I'm going to put books read page 1. Okay, so I know that this is my first spread of the books read. And then this is going to be books read page 2. And of course, if you are a person who doesn't read a lot, maybe you don't need two spreads. Since I do read over 100 books every year, I need two spreads. But if you're someone who you think reads about 50 some books and you like this kind of layout, then you might not need 2 spreads. And if you don't know, I recommend that you always estimate like 1 extra spread just in case, especially for your first year, because you want to have the space available to you if you need it. All right, next I have my Goodreads challenge where I color in the box of the book number I read according to my key over here based on genres. So if it's general fiction or manga or romance or fantasy or thriller, if it's a game book, whatever it is, right? So I love doing this. I've been doing this for years. I will continue doing it. Since it's only blocks, I do fit a lot. So I'm only going to have 1 spread for that. So this is going to say the Goodreads challenge for 2026. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move this here. And again, guys, you can do this little by little as you get inspired, as you see different, challenges coming up for next year that you want to participate in. You just keep adding them. Have your little post-it note with you and your notebook so that you know where you are and how you're setting yourself up. So after my Goodreads challenge, I have my 25 and 25. So as you guys know, if you watch my content, you know that I never give up on a book and I continue the ones from the past. And I'm going to keep doing that. It brings me great satisfaction to know that, you know what, maybe I've only read right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I'll end up reading 8 or 10, right, from my 25 and 25. But I'm not giving up on those books. So I'll continue adding them there. However, the first spread is going to be 26 and 26, right? So I do need to do that spread before I track the leftovers. So I'm going to go ahead and label this 26 books to read in 2026. And it just makes me so excited to pick these books out and decide what books I'm going to make a part of this challenge. So I love it. I love doing this. And I don't feel like I failed because I didn't read the others. I feel like I still have chance to make that up. And if I prioritize these books at some point, then I know I'll continue doing that. And so now I'm ready for 25 and 25. So I'm going to go ahead and label 25 and 25. So what basically I do is I'll go ahead and when I'm done, I leave these for the very end of December. So right at, I'd say halfway through December, I know more or less my stats for the year. I know more or less what I'm going to get to and what I'm not going to get to. The ending of the year is going to have a lot of content for me. I'm going to be filming a lot, making a lot of videos, wrapping up my year. So I will be reading, but not as much. So by that point, I will know exactly which of these I need to do. So again, this is why I divide these videos into so many parts because it takes really long. There might be one session where I only work on the books left over from here that I'm transferring here. So it's a long process. But if you're organized and you dedicate a little bit of time, every week, and you start early enough, like we are starting now, you should be good. So here we will have the leftover books of 25 and 25. Then I also have my second chance to read 24 and 24. So if you see here, I started off with 13 books left over from my 2024 challenge. This year, I've read 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So right now, it looks like only 8 of them are carrying over. If I'm able to finish in the next 2 or 3 months, some of them, then maybe I will only have, 5 of these left over. Then I also have my leftover ones from 2023. I did have 15 books and now I read 1 of them. So I know that I will probably have like 13 or 14. So if I do my math correctly, I think I can fit all of these in 1 spread. So what I'm going to do is 1 page is going to be for the 24 in 24. Because I don't have that many left over. That will be half of the spread. And then the other one will be the books from 23 and 23. And again, you don't have to do this. This is what I've said multiple times when I'm filming these videos, guys. Like, reading journals should track what you want to track, should do for you whatever you want them to do for you. They should make you happy and excited to go in there and accomplished and all of these things. So I love games. I love doing little fun stuff to pick my TBR. This is how I make it fun for me. This is a lot of fun for me. So just find what works for you and what you like and just go with it. So this is going to be 24 and 24, 23 and 23. And don't be afraid of, oh my gosh, I'm running out of pages already. Like, that's fine. This is why we're planning. This is why we have our sticky notes. This is why we can readjust, because you don't know until you get there to the end and you're like, okay, I think I'm running out of space, right? So planning is important. And it's important if you care a lot about the aesthetic and how it fits in. If you're one of those people that doesn't really care about that, then just kind of be more flexible with it. I like organization and I like planning and I like for my reading journal to look a certain way. And that's why it works for me. So I'm just giving you a guide as far as what works for me and a starting point, but you discover eventually what works for you. So here's a great example of something that I've played around with a lot in the past. So I've done the ABC challenge every year for many years. This year I decided that I wanted to do it on one spread because I felt that I wasted a lot of space before. But I wasn't happy with how jumbled things started getting toward the ending of the year. I wasn't happy with how scrunched up everything felt. So what I want to do is I want to see how I did this in 2024. I want to see what I did here. See, okay, this is how it went. So for 2024, I divided each page in thirds. So I got 6 letters of the alphabet per spread, and I was able to fill it in like this. But this year I decided that it wasn't enough. Like I had too much space left over. So I wanted to consolidate that. So I think I consolidated too much because now everything is squished. So although I do like the whole alphabet on one spread, I think I want to go back to something like this because I felt like it gave me room. And it's so impossible to predict what letters, right, are gonna, obviously, even this year, I knew, right, my X, Y, and Z should kind of have like less space or, just little columns or something. But I don't know, like, I'm surprised I only had that year 2 things with a T, right? Like, that's surprising to me. So it's really difficult. I didn't read a single R thing that year. It's just difficult to predict. So I think I want to go back to this. So let's see how many are here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 spreads for this. So maybe I do, let's see what I can do. So now is when you get to plan a little bit, right? So that's why I need my little pencil. So I had here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I had 12 and 12. Not really, because then this one I divided, and this one became super squished here. Okay, because I had a lot of W's. Oh my gosh, I had a lot of W's. Okay, so what if I did 2 spreads instead of 4? I think that might work. So if I divide this into 6s, I think that might work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Now I don't know. I lost it. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Right. So there's 26 letters in the alphabet. I think I can make it fit in 2 spreads. So not 1 spread, not 4 spreads, but we're going to try something new. And I'm going to do 2 spreads for the ABC challenge. How exactly I'm going to decorate that or set that up, I don't know. I'm going to have to count my little boxes and measure and divide. That's going to be in another video. So for now, I think I can say that it's the ABC challenge, page 1. So this is going to be the ABC challenge, page 1. And this is going to be the ABC challenge, page 2. And that makes me happy because now I'm going to have more space, but at the same time, not that much space. So we'll try that and we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm ready to move on to my next page. And we are ready for my Shelfie. I've kept my Shelfie more or less the same in the past couple years. This is where we are now. I do have a little bit of space. I've already read another 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I have 19 for the remainder of the year. I basically have 19 spaces for November and December, which I think is pretty good. If I were to need more space, I can always add a page here that folds over. I could do like a tip-in of some sorts. So I don't think I want to turn my Shelfie into something that's multiple pages. Let me see how my Shelfie was for 2024. And if you see here, I do have things out of order, and I changed the order around of some of my things, and that's okay too. So this was my Shelfie from the year prior, more or less the same kind of a format. I did have a title here. I did read 100 books this year, so that means that I had 100. I maybe had more books. I'm not sure. I thought I had drawn it more or less the same. Maybe not. But I think I'm okay with 1 spread. I think I won't need more, and if I do end up needing more, I can just do like a fancy tip-in of sorts. Okay, so this is going to be my 2026 Shelfie. And I like this format. It's worked for me before, so I think I will keep it. All right, so let's move on to our next spread. So this is the buzzword-a-thon. So for the buzzword-a-thon this year, they went ahead, Kayla went ahead from Books and Lala, went ahead and added the cover buzzword-a-thon and the word buzzword-a-thon. So she added another component to it, and I participated and pretty much completed both of these. I completed all of the cover ones. I'm still missing a couple of these that should be done this month. Okay, so do I want to do 1 spread or 2? And here's the thing, I won't know exactly what this is going to look like until Kayla from Books and Lala releases buzzword information for 2026. So, and we still have, 2 months for that, right? For her to be able to release that information. So I won't know. So this is a perfect example of how I'm just going to mimic whatever I did this year and make adjustments. So this is going to be 2026 buzzword. And I'm going to put that here. And then the following one is going to be 2026 buzzword cover. So this is essentially page 2 of that challenge. And that's where this is going. So I'm going to keep it. Now, of course, if that doesn't exist, then this will get eliminated and I will push my sticky notes back 1, or I'll come up with another challenge that I want to feature here. Everything is open. Everything is, until, and that's why I don't do my index. My index does not get filled in until things are put on paper. So until I've drawn out the spread for that and colored it and decorated it and all of that, that's when I add it. to my index. I do not fill in anything in my index until it's drawn out and the slot has been accepted for that. Okay, so here we have my TBR book recommends. So this is my subscription where they recommend to me 3 books every 3 months. And I've been tracking this for a while because I want to make sure that I am reading these books that are recommended to me. So I do want to have this for this year. So I'm going to go ahead and put TBR book recommends subscription. And I will actually start it off with my December 2024 because I do get a subscription recommendation in December. So I will start that off with the December ones. And I want to be better about reading these. I've only read 3 of them. So I want to be a little bit better about that. Okay. So this was my Read the Rainbow Challenge. I had a lot of fun doing this. I definitely want to do this again next year. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't have these stickers anymore, so I will find a new way of doing that. But I do want to do the Rainbow Challenge. And again, I can expand on some of these challenges if you're not familiar with them. But the Rainbow Challenge just means you're reading books with different color covers and you're documenting that. All right, that's going to go there. So that's going to be my Rainbow Challenge. Perfect. So we move on. So this is my TBR jar, and I definitely want to do more with my TBR jar next year. I enjoy it. Maybe I play around with how I'm using my TBR jar to make sure I'm completing more books from it, but I do want a spread for this. So TBR jar, and that's going to be one spread for my TBR jar. All right. Next, this is the Book Troop Book Club. So Gabby from Gabby Reads is a booktuber that I've been following for years. And she has her own book club, the Book Troop. So I definitely want to make sure that I am covering whatever books she's picking. Now, I want to know, or I'm thinking if I want to make a spread for it, because I feel like it's kind of wasting some space because they're very spread out and there's not enough books for this. So I'm thinking I want to maybe pair this up with some other ones. So, well, before I even get there, I'm going to be starting my own book club, which I'm so excited about. So I'm going to be starting my new book club. It will begin in January. And I think I want that to be the first book club that I document. So I'm going to first go ahead and put Isabel's book club. And that is not the official name. All of that will be, that information will be released soon as I'm still finalizing a few details. There's an airplane hovering on top of us. I don't know if you can hear that. But I will be releasing more information about my book club. But I think before I start tracking all these book clubs, I want mine to be first. So this will be for my book club. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited. Okay. So I do think though that I'm kind of wasting a little bit of space here with my little reading stickers. I think maybe I can fill this in one single spread. Let me see how I did this here. Okay, so I still had a spread, but a lot of left over. This is the Midnight Society. This is the Christie Challenge one. This is the Literally Dead Book Club. Lots of wasted space here. The Book Troop, more wasted space too. Okay, so I'm thinking I can have 2 book clubs side by side. So I think I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to include, I kind of like the idea of, man, see, these are the decisions that I think I'm going to put them together because I have some plans of what I want to do. And this year I've almost run out of space completely in my reading journal, you know? So I think that I want to combine them. So as of right now, I will be combining them. So I'm going to have here on the left, this one will be the book troop. So this will be the book troop book club. So I'm going to put this on the left. And then I'm going to have Kayla's book club, the Literally Dead book club, on the right. And again, I will be drawing out the little boxes and making sure I fit everything just right. Okay, so this will be the Literally Dead book club. All right, so I've now included both of those on there. Then we have the Read Christie. And Read Christie sometimes gives me like alternates. So I do think I want to keep the Read Christies in a spread. So I am going to make a spread out of this one. And this will be Read Christie 2026. And basically, Read Christie is a themed book club readathon kind of thing where it's an official thing, by the way, by the Read Christie group, and they do postcards and they set up a theme for the year, like a passport kind of a thing, and you get to read the selected book each month. They do offer a ton of alternatives for those of us that have read a lot of the books, so you can always read some of the alternative titles. But I love participating in it. This year I haven't read too many. I think I've only done 3 so far, but I do try to prioritize my Christies. Let me see how I did last year. 1, 2, 3, 4. I did 4 last year. So again, it's been a while since I've completed most of it or all of it, but I still like that I'm still pulling 3 or 4 Christies in a year because I do love Agatha Christie and I'm trying to read her entire backlist. So this is going to be Read Christie 2026. So then we move on to, let's see, I think I want to keep all my book clubs together. So right now, I'm going to skip some of these. So when I skip a spread, all I'm going to do is like put a little post-it note here to mark that I have not done anything with the tarot card game. Okay, the blurb game, I'm also going to skip. Yeah, I want to include more the challenges. So let's see, because I might end up skipping a whole lot. Okay, here's more of them. All right, so I've skipped all of this. I'm going to flip this down a little bit so that I know that I've skipped them, and I'll get back to that now. So this is the Read with Jenna, and I'm going to definitely combine this Read Jenna with Reese's book club. Okay, so Jenna and Reese will live together on the same spread. So we're going to put Read with Jenna on the left. And then I will have Reese's book club on the right, because I end up not reading all the titles. The way that I do it is if I'm interested, I'll add it to my list. So if I'm interested in it, I'll add it to my list. If you see January, February, March, I skipped April, then May, June and July I haven't liked anything since. So I don't force myself to read all of them. They do read from a lot of genres that I'm not a fan of, or I don't like reading as much. So I allow myself that liberty. So here we have Jenna and Reese's. So we'll have those there. Let's see if there's other book clubs. Okay, so I'm also skipping this for a minute. The Kindle Unlimited. I will get back to it. So I'm skipping Kindle Unlimited. I'm skipping my scratch off and the anticipated releases. Then I have the Midnight Society book club. I am skipping that for right now. Then me and my best friend's book club. Okay, so see, right now I'm going to change a few things because I want my personal book club and my best friend and I's book club back to back. So that's something I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and move this. So I'm going to create an Angela and Isabel book club space. So right after Isabel's book club, I want Angela and Isabel book club. And I want a spread for that. So that's going to go here. And then I'm going to move Reese and Jenna. And I'm going to add the book troop and the Literally Dead book club here. And then I'm going to add Jenna and Reese's. And you see, this is why I use the post-it notes, guys. Okay, this is the reason. Perfect example as to why I'm using the post-it notes, because then it allows that freedom, that liberty of shuffling things around. This isn't even how it's going to stay. I know I'm going to continue shuffling things around, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Okay, so I skipped to this. So I did add this one, Isabel and Angela. Let's see. I do have back here other book clubs. Let me just quickly see if because see, I did this out of order because I added those after I had already planned things. And that's okay. Yeah, that will happen, guys. But then for the following year, you know, you want them all together. See, so here I have Oprah's book club and Good Morning America. So I wanted both of those together, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do Oprah and Good Morning America. So let me go back here because this is kind of where I left off. No, actually, look how far back we have to go. Okay, so I'm going to do Oprah and her book club on one side because the same applies for the Read with Jenna and Reese's. So Oprah's book club will be here, and then the Good Morning America will be on the right. And this is the adult and the YA. Perfect. And that goes here. Awesome. So then I'm going to move on. Now, there were other book clubs. There is the Midnight Society by Elizabeth from Reading Riley. I do like participating in her book club every now and then when the titles appeal to me. I know I left it back there, and I think there's another one I want to add. There's Kayla's Besties book club, which I want to add, but it's not a lot of books, so this is like a wasted page. I also know my friend Jen from Literary Love 123 does a book club every other month, so I think I'll go ahead and add those three on one spread. Okay, so let me go ahead and write down Reading Riley's club. Okay, so we're going to have the Midnight Society book club. And again, I have to figure out how I'm going to draw this and make it look good. So the Midnight Society book club is going to go here. Then I have the Kayla's Besties for channel members, which I am a channel member. Love her channel. So I'm going to include that as well. And then the Literary Love 123, which is Jen's book club. If you're not following Literary Love 123, Jen, she's wonderful. Make sure you follow her. She's a great, great booktuber. So I'm going to include this one here. So I will have this spread include all 3 of these book clubs. And I know Midnight Society has more. I know she does bi-monthly. I know hers are every 2 months or something like that. Yeah, I'll leave it like this, but I know that that's going to be divided. And I think that's it for book clubs. I think that's it for the actual book clubs. Okay. But if you start to see, I already have plans for all these spreads. You know what I mean? Like I have planned out what's going to go there, what I think is going to go there. So I can now start playing around with the idea of, okay, how much space am I going to have? What am I going to do in those pages? All right, so let's go back to where I left off. All right, so I'm picking up here. Go ahead and remove this post-it note from there. All right, so now we're getting to my challenges, if you will. So these are little card games that I have that I like to play with to make my reading more fun. So this is the TBR tarot card game, which is just like you pick from this deck that has a bunch of prompts and it kind of guides you as to what you need to read next. So I'm going to go ahead and put a spread for that. Although a spread might be a lot. Let's see if I can pair that one up with something else. Okay. This is the blurb game. The blurb game has its own space. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to bookmark this again. I'm not ready for it yet, but I am ready for the blurb game. Okay, so I think the blurb game, I'm not going to do it in this format, which takes up a lot of space. I did have to put my blurb game into 2 spreads, if you remember, or if you've watched my channel before. I don't know where I have it, but I did have to include multiples of these. Can't even find it right now, but anywho, I did have to go one over. So I am going to dedicate one spread to it, but it's going to be just the writing, like just the words. So the blurb game is going to be a spread. And that's a challenge for myself where whatever books I'm reading, if they're blurbed by somebody else, I read something by that author or that book, whatever's on my shelf. Okay, so I did this one. So far, I've only skipped this one. All right. This is another tracker of things, which is the years of publication. And I think I want to do this differently. I am interested in tracking what years the books that I read are from, but I'm not sure exactly how I want to do that. I know I feel like I spent a lot of space here with years that I do not read anything in. And then I really did use up all of these extra boxes here as add-ons. So I need to figure out what I want this to look like, but I am interested in including this. So for now, let me see if I want to. I'll come back to this one. So I'm going to tab this one as well, and I'm going to move on. So this is another scavenger hunt game. So maybe I can pair this with the tarot card game. I think I want to do that. Okay, so these two might want to go together. Okay, so let me go ahead and mark those. Okay, then also the bookish cards, the game of bookish cards. I kind of like the bookish cards and the tarot cards together, maybe. Okay, I did do this. This is another kind of tracker thing that I want to get back to. I also have my scratch off card game. See, so I want to put maybe all my card games together. So let me write down what these card games are. So I have so far the tarot card, and then I have the scratch off card, and then I have the bookish card game. Okay, so that's 3 card games. I think those can go on one spread, if I'm being serious. That way I'm not spending all these pages on that. Let's see if there's any others. The Midnight Society, I already documented. My Best Friend's Club and I. The Geography, which I will not be doing that same thing for. I'm not doing a Tackle Your TBR thing. New month, new favorite, I'll do now. Best books, that goes later. And then these are my months, which I'll get to in a second. These are my overall stats that'll be at the ending of the months. Then these are readathons that will pop up individually. I do like the Roll Your Read game. So that's another kind of game, but not a card game. The Threaded Challenge I'm kind of done with. I do want something for, this is another challenge one. This is buddy reads. I definitely want more space for my buddy reads. I definitely want something for Summerween or Winterween. Big Books of Summer, I'd like to document too. Okay, I think I'm good. So the blurb game, I'm actually going to put this here because it's a spread. So the blurb game is taken care of. Now we're going to go to our scratch off card, anything that's card related. So this is going to be the tarot card. The tarot card game. All right, so I'm going to remove this because I've now added that. The blurb game I already did. This I can't remove, I'll go back to. The scavenger hunt I haven't done, so this includes this. So I'm going to tab it over here for 1 second. Then this is going to be the bookish cards game. Bookish cards game. Perfect. So that's going to go here. And then I believe I have the scratch off one. Scratch off, where are you? Scratch off. The scratch off card game. Scratch off card game. All right, and those will be on here together. Awesome. Okay, so now we're ready to go back to whatever I skipped. Okay, so I did the blurb game. Now that I'm done with, am I done with games? No, I still need my scavenger hunt game. Okay. So for now, yeah, I could do scavenger hunt together with the roll your read. Okay, so scavenger hunt. So the scavenger hunt game is going to be paired up with the roll your read game. All right, so that's taken care of. Let me go back, see if I skipped anything. All right, so now we're ready for trackers, perhaps. Let's see. Scavenger hunt I did, the bookish card game I did, read with Jenna and Reese I did. This is my Kindle Unlimited TBR. I need to include that. Okay, so that's like another TBR thing. I think I want to put that first before I do the other trackers. Okay. So I'm going to include my Kindle Unlimited. So this is going to be Kindle Unlimited TBR. Kindle Unlimited TBR. And I'll get a spread for that. Okay, we're good to go here. Kindle Unlimited TBR. Let's make sure we didn't skip anything. Okay, I did. So now we go with trackers. These were all kind of games and challenges, and I like that it's a little more organized than I had it this year. Again, that's part of the learning process, and you just add new things. And you know what? I might add things later because not everyone has started their challenges or mentioned things that they're planning to do, and maybe I get excited and I want to hop on that and do that. If I still have the opportunity to move things around with my sticky notes because I haven't started drawing them, I'll do it. And if I don't have time, it'll go in the end. And, for the following year, I'll update that. So these are work in progress journals, right? So if we know that, we can be a little more graceful with ourselves, right? So I do want to track the years of publication. I just don't know what that's going to look like. So I'm just going to label it years of publication because that's something I care about. I just don't, I liked it visually. I really did. I just don't think it's serving me because I read so many new releases. So I need to figure out a better way of doing that. If this is a spread that you include in your journal or if you've done this before, let me know how you do it. I would love some cool, fresh ideas. All right, so I no longer need this as my space holder. I'm going to move on. Scavenger hunt game is already included. Bookish card game is included. Read with Jenna's included. Reese's book club is included. My Kindle TBR I included, so I'm going to take this off. The scratch off game I included. My anticipated releases. I'm not sure if I want this or not. So I'm going to put it here for now. Anticipated releases. So for this one, let me show you. So I used to really spend a lot of time documenting anticipated releases. And it got me excited. Some of my favorite videos to watch were the anticipated release videos. See, this is how I used to track these. And I would put little check marks once I pre-ordered it or received it. And I love those videos. I really love anticipated release videos. I love dreaming of these wonderful books that are coming soon. But I started to realize that I was pre-ordering a lot of them. Then I was backed up on my backlist. I would get a pre-order and I wouldn't be able to read it immediately. So it would just go to like die on my shelves for a while. And I kind of stopped this year. Like I did some of them, if you see here. And these are all things I ended up buying: Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, The Unworthy, The Dream Hotel. All of those I've actually purchased with a vengeance, doll parts. But I decided I didn't want to continue doing this because it was just too many pre-orders. It was adding too much bulk to my library that I wasn't reading immediately. So in an effort to read more of what I have on my shelves, this year I decided to do away with anticipated releases. And I actually stopped watching a lot of those videos. Um, I miss them because I love that kind of content. So I don't know if I want to document that right now. So I'm just going to leave that blank right now. I'll figure that out later. I did put a little note here so that I can think about that, mull over it, and decide. So I did do my bestie book club with Angela. The Read Around the World challenge I'm not going to do this next year. I struggled with this a lot for many reasons. One, I feel like everything was happening in more or less the same states or the same countries, right? So United Kingdom or the US or Canada or Japan. And then I just wasn't getting enough states. A lot of books don't tell you where they're located, so that's hard to track. So I don't think I want to do anything. Actually, now that I have this here, I'm going to toss this one away. And I'm going to put that, I need to figure out what I want to do with the geography trackers and what I want to do with the anticipated release. Okay. So I'm just going to leave those two there. Those are two spreads that I'm not sure I want to include. Although I really enjoyed this little map thing, I don't know if it worked for me. Okay, so next I have my 5-star reads, right? So of course I have to track this. Right now I have this setup of 2 spreads. I'm going to leave it as 2 spreads because some years I have more 5-star than others. So I do want to plan accordingly and leave those there. So I'm going to put 5-star reads, page 1. That's going to go here. And then this will be 5-star. Five-star reads, page 2, or spread number 2. Okay. Decide how I want to design that and what it's going to look like later on. All right, Tackle Your TBR is a game that I played and I'm done with. This is my favorites for the month. So this is going to be another spread. Monthly faves. So that goes here. Then I believe the bracket is next. Yes, so this is going to be the 2026 bracket to see what my favorite book of the year is going to be. Then this is going to be a top 10 books of 2025. I don't think I need a spread. I think maybe just 1 page. And I can maybe do my least favorite because I probably want to do videos on that. So I'm going to do 10 best books of 2026. And I think I'm probably going to want to do, just got pen on myself. Okay. And then I'm probably going to want to do 10 worst books of 2026. I'm going to include that. What did I do? What did I do, guys? So this is my 2026 bracket. And then here we're going to have the best books of 2025 and worst books of 2025. And I'll do a page for each of those. Okay, perfect. And this I'll fill out at the end of this year. Then I go ahead and get started with my monthly wrap-ups. So here's the thing with these, right? So I like how I did this. I do like this. I do like the bingo, January bingo board. Maybe I continue this. I do like my checklist, but I also want to include some reviews. I kind of want to, for each of the things that I read that month, I want to include a stats thing. And I want to include like a little picture of the book with a little summary and the rating, because I don't see that here. You know I read Haunt Sweet Home, right? I know I read that in January, but I don't know what I rated it. That's a mistake. That I want to, obviously I can go over here and I can say, oh, what did I rate Haunt Sweet Home? Oh, okay, 2.5 stars. But I think to make these monthly wrap-up pages better, I think I need that information. So I'm going to do, I think, 2 spreads per month. So I'm going to, let me first map out what that's going to look like. So what are those things I said I wanted? So in the monthly wrap-up, I want maybe a bingo board. I want a checklist. I want stats. I want pick of each book. And then I want review for each book. Okay, so I think I can commit to that. that's kind of what I want. So for each of my months, I'm going to be including the bingo board, the checklist, the stats, the picture of each book, and review for each book. I want that. I want to do that. So I'm going to put this here as a little reminder for the January one. And then I'm going to have 2 spreads. So instead of having January, February, I'm going to do January, January. Okay, so let's go ahead and label each of those very quickly. This might take me a minute, so I'll speed you, I think, through this part. That way, you know, you're not bored. I'll speed you through it real quick. All right, guys, so I had to get a new pack of Post-it notes. I probably should have started with a full one, but never mind. All right, so I've done my 2 pages for each, right? So I want to very quickly see how I'm doing with my pages. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So that's pretty good, I think. So far, I think this is good. I do have a lot of challenges that come up and I want to add now in a minute, but I think this is a good place to kind of be so far. If you're doing the Post-it notes, your journal is going to look a little thick already, okay? That's normal. As you remove the Post-it notes, it'll go back to normal, okay? But it's fine. So let's go back here momentarily. So I finished December. Here's my yearly stats. So I'm going to go ahead and add that there. Yearly statistics. Now, I don't love this. I did this very quickly. It was one of the last pages I worked on, and I didn't really have an idea for how I wanted to make this look. I do want to include some pie charts and stuff like that. So I want this to look a little nicer, but we'll see. We'll see how I end up doing my yearly stats. Okay. Then we have all of the different readathons. So I'm going to just kind of go by the readathons I did this year and kind of plan for that. But I know that's why I like to keep this part of my journal empty toward the ending, so that all of the readathons and stuff that starts happening, I can kind of just, plan for as they happen, because I don't really know if there's going to be new ones or if people are going to continue doing these or whatnot, right? So right at the beginning of the year, we normally have Winterween, which is hosted by Gabby from Gabby Reads, and I participate in this every year. This is what I read this year. I completed all my prompts, all of that. So I think I did 1 page for that, 1 spread. So this, I'm going to put Winterween. Hopefully it is happening. So this will be Winterween. All right, then I have a book bingo here. I won't be doing one of these again. That was just because I had this sticker and decided to do it. This is the Roll Your Read, which I already included elsewhere, paired up with something else. This was again some stickers I had for a thriller challenge that I'm about to complete. I'm just missing this one. And I'm actually going to add, well, I'm not going to add it now. I have to do it in my wrap up, but I completed this already this month. So this is done. The thriller challenge is done. Not doing it again next year. Oprah's book club I already added. Good Morning America I already added. So middle grade March is something I love participating in. So I'm going to add middle grade March on here. Middle grade March. Let's see what else I have here. These are all my buddy reads. I need definitely more space for this, especially if I'm going to include my thumbnails. This is Summerween, so let me skip. Okay, let me grab my little post-it placeholder. Let's put this one again here. I'm skipping this, so I'll go back to it. Ah, this came out crooked. Where's my sticky? There it is. Okay. So I have to put all of these on there. Okay, so I'll go back to my buddy reads. We have Summerween. Summerween is here. And again, I participated this year. I did read at least 5 books. I did dedicate a bunch of spreads for this. I don't think I want to do this many spreads. So I had 1, 2, 3 spreads. I think I'm only going to do 2. Okay, so Summerween, page 1. And then I'll do Summerween, page 2. Right, so I'm going to include Summerween 1 and 2. I don't know why I didn't do Winterween part 1 and 2 though. I think that's because I was not on BookTube at that point. So I didn't really document as much, but maybe I want to do that. Because there's still a lot. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, guys. So, okay. So I need a Winterween page 2. So yearly stats, Winterween. I'm going to make Winterween page 1. And then this will be Winterween page 2. And then this will be middle grade March. And then this will be Summerween page 1. And Summerween page 2. Love it. Okay, there we go. So let me go back here. This was Summerween. Then this was a book club that I added later on because it started later in the year. Big Books of Summer. I like this. Not sure if I'm going to include it or not. The Sell Your Soul is kind of done with as well. So I'm going to put here Geography Anticipated Releases and Big Books of Summer because I don't know if I want this or not. So I'll decide later if I want to participate in that. And that pretty much takes me to the end of this. So now I have to go back to what I skipped. Yep, I skipped my buddy reads. Okay, I'm done with this for now. So this is going to be buddy reads page 1. And then I'll include a buddy reads page 2. And so far, now that I've mapped all of this, this is what I have left over, which is pretty good wiggle room in case I need to add a lot more readathons, in case I need to push back certain things. But this is pretty much where we are at with this. Wow, guys, I feel like this video has been very long, but I feel incredibly satisfied, incredibly excited that I've taken everything I learned from my reading journal this year, everything I liked, everything I enjoyed, everything I wanted to change around, and I've kind of done that. I have yet to look online at other people's journals or watch other videos of what spreads people are including. I know there's normally a ton of different challenges. There's that 52-week one. I know there's the pop sugar one. There's a lot of them. And then maybe I want to do another one. Maybe I want to do another one. I'm not really sure. Maybe I want to document something with my vlogs. I don't know that either. But to be fair, I think I'm happy right now. I think I'm happy. It's almost the ending of October. It's like October 20 something today. So I'm happy that I've been able to say, okay, this is what I want for sure on my 2026 reading journal. And I hope this video was useful to you. Thank you for coming with me on this journey of deciding what's going to be on my 2026 journal. If you like any of these ideas, please feel free to use them. I'm super excited about you and your reading journal journey. So if you would love to start one, if you're planning on starting one, if you're already starting one, please let me know in the comments down below. It makes me so happy to know that you are going to start on this journey because it's so much fun. Reading journaling is such an important part of me as a reader and ultimately me as a content creator because it does make me happy to film these kinds of videos. So let me know what your plans are for your reading journal, and if you used any of this information and if you enjoyed any of it, and if there's anything you want me to dive into a little bit deeper in some of my following videos. But again, I will follow up with more parts now that I've done this. What are the next steps? I'm going to begin decorating and deciding what washi and what tape and all of that I'm going to be using for each of these spreads, and I will bring you with me for every step of that journey. So thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already. It really does help me, guys, and thank you for being here with me and your endless support. I appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.